it's difficult to play a full game of chess right off the bat. So there are different lessons that you can take where you can create situations and win the situation. So when you actually do play the full game of chess, you're learning to have situational progression. So you have a question about Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and what class is like? Sure, we can get into that. But before we do, if you want to check out this video right over here to get a little bit more context, I'm sure it'll help. So let's get into it. Just before class starts, the students line up with ranking in mind. If you are facing the lineup, the most senior ranking students are at the right and the junior most to the left. If you're a white belt, the leftmost of the line is where to slide in. This is a good opportunity to introduce yourself to help break the ice and to begin focusing your mind into your training. The instructor will take the front of the class and open class with a simple bow which represents respect to each other and to the training that is about to take place. After you bow in, the class begins warming up. In this part of class, the professor will facilitate motions to get your body ready for a more progressive movement. There are usually two types of warm-ups that we do. The first kind is basic calisthenics. The other kind is the progressive technique flow.
Put my knee over here, like this, as if to give my back, okay? I take my hand.
Getting all the details is not the goal, as the mind is also warming up. The main goal is just to get the body moving and to get used to the initial motions.
Use my shoulder to help push me forward, and I'm gonna do a forward roll here. Okay, so now when I have this, all I gotta do is paste this hand to my partner, and then make him go down. Switch my legs for the base, and ride the momentum up. Okay, then press the face down here with the pinching of the knee.
As the movements get more specific, more details will follow. It may seem overwhelming at first, but the idea is to choose 2 or 3 details to practice. The professor, however, usually gives the main focus on which details to concentrate on, so that the technique will feel as natural as possible. After technique portion of class comes to close, the next segment is the practical.
So the idea now is to catch it semi-live, right? Like here, there's one. Maybe I'm like, maybe I kind of bait something here for a second, and then there's the one. And then I go, right? Maybe there's the one. Maybe he grabs my leg for a second. Nice, thank you. I go here. So the idea is, again, like I'm moving. How do I get him to touch the ground? Look at that, even just this. Because he has to touch the ground. Try to follow without using my hand. It's too awkward, right? Yes, too hard. Now, like what we do naturally. Boom, there's the one. Boom, there's the one. Like you're looking for the reaction and then go for it, okay?
If we look at a game of chess, the whole game can be difficult to navigate. This is a good place to learn, as we can just focus on smaller goals instead of the whole game. Trust in the training is born from here, and confidence in yourself is definitely strengthened. Both you and your training partners will help each other become better through a partnership that is encouraged throughout class and throughout your training career. So the idea really is because if you think about a game of chess, right, and you have each piece on the board, we understand how each one moves, but if you don't understand like certain goal sets, it's difficult to play a full game of chess right off the bat. So there are different lessons that you can take where you can create situations and win the situation. So when you actually do play the full game of chess, you're learning to have situational progression rather than just play the whole game all at once. Similar to, like, let's say video games where you have the tutorial and you have clear objectives in the beginning before you start playing the whole game. So that way you know the entire mechanics and you can start using strategy, creativity, problem solving. Those are very important. So I think it's really, really valuable when you start segmenting each portion of the full roll rather than just get smashed right from the very beginning. So I like it this way. It helps people feel the progression and know where they need to be and what to work on.
And is there any benefits for like switching partners and different belts, rolling with different belts and stuff?
Yeah, when you switch, right, like there's a certain way that you roll with another white belt, and then there's a way that you roll with a higher belt, and the higher and higher belt that you go. So that way you can feel the spectrum of experience, and then and kind of like learn by osmosis in that sense, and then you can take the energy, what you felt from a senior, and then try it yourself. It also helps us like maneuver to, let's say, a better training partner that's more suitable to, let's say, personality type, and it enables everyone here to start developing relationships. It's super important. As the isolation sparring portion of class closes, the open spar begins. The option to just watch is always welcome, as there are many beginners that are still acclimating to class. Then, as the students progress in their training, this portion of class is vital to advancing to higher levels of skill. Again, beginners are invited to practice here, but it's important to mention that it's your first time or you're still building confidence to practice your skill. Our senior students often help bring you into the fold as they remember what it's like to start too.
20 seconds, don't stop moving. Persistent pass. Come on, let's go. Come on, Jeff, let's go. Push the pass, push the pass, let's go. Push the pass, yeah. Come on, push the pass. Push the pace a little bit. Get to your position. Let's go. Let's go. 5 seconds. Come on, don't stop. Don't stop. Don't stop. Don't stop. Don't stop. All right, guys, thank you so much.
But there are some things they don't tell you about practice. The other day I had a conversation with some of the higher ranking belts about the things you only learn after some time in BJJ.
What they don't tell you is how much you're going to have in common with a goldfish. With that 8-second memory after you learn a technique and then forget it. So as soon as you go in, like, he may show you 20 details and you're only going to remember one, maybe. And then you're stuck there just swimming around hoping you're doing something right. Yup.
It still happens in the higher belts too.
Dude, it happened to me today when we were doing the new sweep. I'm just like, I'm just gonna try this and we're gonna get better together at it.
I've done this before. Done it before. Just not right now.
It's not right now.
They don't tell you that being on the mat, you're going to completely lose a lot of your bias and prejudice and stuff like that. You know, you're going to have friends that you have literally nothing in common with that you find out you have so much in common with. People that you would probably see on the street or, that you wouldn't associate with hardly at all. When you're here on the mat, you realize, man, this person could probably be my best friend,
Yeah.
Like, you're going to find, you sort of disarm yourself completely in here, and it opens you up so much. So people don't tell you how good the people are when they come in here. Everybody just wants to be better. And with that, man, you find a group of people that just want to be better. And skin color, race, religion, political views, it doesn't even matter anymore. What they don't tell you too, man, is after that first roll, you start appreciating like how like free you'll feel, like the endorphins and everything. Like even after you get smashed, you'll just lay on the floor and you're like, I just want to breathe. And like it's almost like forced meditation, like because you're in this like little cerebral cortex in your brain, just like just listening to yourself breathe. No one tells you how like legitimately free you are in that moment.